Roxton Southern. This is Genesis Wyoming Heritage Unit number 125. Now they're switching Morton. They have GP38-2 125, SD40-3 3331, GP40-3 3101, SD40-2 3063, and SD40-3 3323. And 3323. Of course, 3331, being a former Canadian national, SD40 has the hoods over them. Now we're switching Morton. See how steep that hill is that they come up. I've seen it before, shown it before, but there we go. I'd like to go, trying to hold it still. I'd like to, it'd be nice if I could film from Morton Salt's parking lot over there. Film actually down in there, but I don't want to risk doing that. Could get in trouble for that. Well, I never knew I could zoom in with one finger. That'll make things easier. Make it easier to stay stable and zooming in. Just have to tap the color of that green grass. Wonderful spring. Bright orange GNWR 125. It is an SD40-3, but I forgot. It's SD3064 that's the SD40-3. Come on, Southern Pacific SD45R. Both of them are, but that one, you can see the former SP Light package marks. Which, at some point, we'll be making Roxton Southern switchers that have a full SP Light package, because they bought a couple of SW1200s back in the day, and they repainted them into the GNWR, into the GNW corporate scheme. They were SW1200s from the SP, and they eventually did take off a couple of the SP Lights, but the majority of them they left on, and they left them on for a long time. So we're going to have Southern Pacific SW1200s, eventually painted in the orange, black, and yellow with silver trucks, because I believe they had silver trucks. That's something that I will eventually be doing. I don't think they have any cars to take back, because H-52 did not come down last night. At least I don't think they did. Maybe they did they? No, I don't think they did. I don't know what they're doing. This is where I used to live. Those two downstairs windows, those are our kitchen windows, and that window on the side was my mom's bedroom, and then my bedroom was in the front. But I had a notebook right by that. I had a notebook right by those downstairs kitchen windows, and I used to, every time a train went through, I would run out and write down what road numbers I could see and different things on the train. And it was kind of silly at the time, but that's, if I can ever find that information, it's going to be a great asset for modeling this Frontier line. I know. Swing around and go up Silver Springs Road, because I got to Worth and deliver penny savers. Well, working, so I have to excuse the camera shake, but I'm walking along and working. That noise you hear is the Rochester and Southern descending the hill. I don't know if I mentioned this. I turned it off, but actually H-52 did come down last night. I forgot that. They had a Silver Lake siding was full of cars. I don't know if you'll see their headlight up there, but you can hear them. They're right there. Just barely through the trees you can see them. But I'm actually standing on the location that the modular layout is. This is the creek from the modular layout, the Wacker Creek, and there's a bridge back there. And right there is where the switch to the elevator factory is. There's where the track went along. Right there, the track came out where that driveway was and went right through where that door was. And the other track, the spur into the elevator factory, was over there, right where you can see it dips down. It was right in there. Or it might have been where it comes up, where it's up higher. Since they unloaded coke and coal there, that probably was raised up, and there were little holes in there that they could get the coal and coke out of. This is Wacker Creek. The freight depot is down that way, and then here's Montgomery Building Supply, where the coal dealer was, and those buildings over there, I believe that's where they used to offload the lumber for Montgomery Building Supply. Because an old map, somewhere I saw an old map that had a lumber yard over here. Montgomery Lumber was downtown, was in the downtown area, but they probably unloaded up here. Interrupted, but here's Montgomery Building Supply on this side. This building was not around when it was a coal dealer. However, this one coming up here was. That barn definitely was here when it was a coal dealership, and I would estimate that that's probably where they probably bagged coal They probably bagged coal in there and then loaded it up here. And then you can see there how it's a different level from everything else. The coal trestle, you can see some railroad rail right there. And the coal trestle is where that building now is. This was the office for the Myron Colton organ, or an office for probably the button factory. It was here. And that's the building that was Myron Colton organ, and then it was Warsaw Button Factory. And this is Embry Lantern. It's Embry Lantern, then with something else. And now it's Fairview Paperbox Corporation. You can see up there what used to be windows. It has 3 of those long windows that was stuck up through the top. And this little bit on the end, the cinder block here, is newer. But you can see here the older cement block that's been here since 1910, I think was when this building was originally built. I see they've upgraded the windows and such, but the Fairview Paperbox is an industry on the layout only. It's served by the freight depot because it wasn't over here originally. And there was a feed dealer up there. Now I'm not sure if that business was served by the railroad. I don't think it was, but it could have been. But here you can see it better for those what used to be windows up there. And then along here you can see they've changed the windows. And then there, that used to be a door. You can see at the bottom there where the sill is cut out. And it's got new cinder blocks in there. And then there's a section over here with new cinder blocks. I'm pretty sure I remember when that was a door and there was a double doors there as well. I'm pretty sure I remember when they changed that. I think that was in the 90s. But yeah. They were all windows like those ones there, all along here. And then you have this place that used to be a farmer's co-op. That was a garage. You see the registered motor vehicle repair shop, and there's grain bins up there. That's the Town of Warsaw Highway Department up on the hill. And the switchback comes down over there. Okay, it's now 11:30 at night, and H52 is here in town. They're down at the other end of town. Move back here and you should be able to see the flashing Fred. Flashing red light down there is a Fred. I have not recorded them I think I've recorded them once in the last 2 years. And it's probably because it was H52. Mom was sitting down here. She was sitting right down there. Walked down here. But it's right down here. That's H52 is what Mom was sitting watching when she almost died. And it's 11:30 now. It's about this time is when she lost consciousness. 2 years ago, February 4th, 2023. It's a lot warmer now than it was then. Be back. Right here's where she was sitting. Right here. tire tracks, and tire tracks are from my Mini earlier today when I was filming the Rochester and Southern. It was right here. That's why I haven't been filming H52. Also, they come at night, and people don't really like nighttime videos. Yeah. 5:30 in the morning. That's when I found her. Doing an audio recording she made 11:30. Figured that she had been unconscious 5.5 hours. Right there. Want to buy houses next to the railroad? There's 2 of them for sale here. You got this little one right here, and there's the white one next to it. Right next to the railroad. Neither one of them is in great shape. Both of them have been seen in previous videos, so. Let's walk down to Main Street. They are on the dead track. No, there's no traffic coming. There can't be any traffic coming because they have to be on the main to get on the dead track. So, a couple people riding their bikes around the village at 11:30 at night. That's unusual. Want some grain? Main Street crossing. And Silver Springs needs to be replaced. Look at this. Look at that. That is just horrible. Want some corn? Need some corn. Cross over here. The potholes are. Yeah. And that's just from this winter because it was not like that last year. So it was made worse by this winter. I got Bigelow down. The lights flashing down there. So let's wait until I get back here. Look at that car. Corn syrup, empty salt hopper, an AEX salt hopper, 14765. All the older ones, the CNW ones, and all those ones like those, they're all cut up, unfortunately. And I think all the GNWR salt hoppers like this one are all cut up. I haven't seen them in a long time. More corn syrup. Yo. There we go. Focus. There's diesel fuel. Another load of diesel. Probably should have actually been on the other side because while this one is an LED street light, that one shines more on the cars, I think. That's a big one. What size is that? It's got end ladders and everything. That doesn't say on that end. No, it does. 37,000? Yeah, 37. I think it's 37,000, and these are 30,000 gallon tank cars. Now it's a 29. Yeah, I think that big CGTX was a 30,000 gallon one. And these are 37,000. These are 30,000 gallon. Here's another, and then another load of corn syrup. There's one of the new GNWR hoppers, 1025, or used, but they're not the ones that they built. Had built for them by Trinity. Ones that lasted less than 20 years before they got rid of them. I don't think those are around anymore. There's a Winchester and Western. You can see the ghost on the side of that one. Another former Winchester and Western. You really see the ghost on that one. And another one. You got a bunch of them from Winchester and Western. And it's starting to rain. That one's a JATX or GATX one. These are all empty. No flat spots on those wheels. Nicely rolling, quiet roll. Ooh, look at the graffiti on that. Didn't get a still picture, didn't take it. That's probably grain. Like a monster truck. Peacocking like a monster truck. Okay. Or CRDX, probably grain as well. Those are loads. Someday when I have more money, what I want to do is I want to try and see if I can trace where each one of these cars go to. Go to the different industries, follow the different locals, see if I can find out exactly where each of these cars go to. Whether it's on the Rochester and Southern or Livonia Avenue and Lakeville. The corn syrup cars, I know they go to Livonia Avenue and Lakeville. But cars like that CRDX, or this SHPX, I'm not sure exactly. That one looks like it's probably full of fertilizer because of the black stuff coming down. This one's corn syrup, as it says right on the side. Now these potash cars, they should go to Carolina Eastern Crocker. That's where they should be going. And he's at the Silver Lake siding switch. These potash cars should go to Leroy or Help Pavilion. Okay, we got moving again. This car, somebody loves their mom, EVs, and Burger King. Okay. Probably not the same person who did the tag on that side. An IARX 5201 couple cubic foot covered hopper. You got a 5250 CEFX. Motive Power is right down by Rybaught Avenue, so we'll see them shortly. 4780 cubic foot ATFX. Sulfur dioxide. Ooh. Let's not spill that one. Diesel fuel is not great to spill either, but the sulfur dioxide is definitely a definite no. Got a lot of diesel fuel on this car. I think it's another one of those 31,820 gallons. That looks bigger than that. That looks a lot bigger. But they only said 37,000, but apparently it's only 31,000. That's another AEX. That's an empty for salt. The INTX also is. Ooh, Lake Erie, Franklin, and Clarion Road. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I gotta get that some other time. Whoa. There comes the power. Another AEX. That one's loaded. So's that one. MWCX. ES44AC. A139. And they got Tier 4, 3659. 44AC. They're not working too hard today. You can see the rain. Okay, now he's throttling up. Tallman's, the collision shop. There are many cars out here. The old CNC cycle shop. It's been closed for a long time. Sorry about the camera shake, but I am walking, so. I think that's it for this video. He was still open when I was a kid. Everybody and his brother was here. There were bikes all out front. Being worked on if you were visiting. There's the BRMP 1915 sidewalk block. They're showing up that way. Yeah. Used to be this crossing was a bad one, but as you can see from the other earlier in the video, Main Street is now horrible. Like, I used to go around Main Street to avoid the bad crossing, but this one now looks perfect. Main Street's bad. You can see here we have a whistle post here for Main Street, and on Main Street there's a whistle post for this one. So that's it. From CP Silver Springs, milepost 368, I'm focused on the center line, keep on the drains, Tim out.